get the Save America Act, we can do all this other stuff that we want. Yeah. But these communists are going to come in right behind us after they cheat in elections and change everything back. So that's the reason this is so important.
This is the promise of America, by the way, that is at stake. This is what has ruled this country since its inception, and only the last 20 years ago, the Democrat Party have decided to make it no longer a representative republic, but to live their own ideology, to promote their own extreme agenda against the will of the people, and then most recently to bring in tens of millions of illegal voters to vote. And the reason being, Democrats, again, I said you got 20% of your party voting against 80% of you. And the reason why they have the illegals is because they anticipate and they take for granted your vote, but they need the illegals to put them over the top. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So this is kind of existential when you think about it. And we're going to have to start taking seriously how important this is for the survival of the country. And both parties, you Democrats too, you really need to be introspective because you're not being represented at all by your party. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
what you want more of on WCBM.com.
The Democrat leader has been calling this bill Jim Crow 2.0, a phrase that is not only deeply irresponsible and insulting to those who actually lived through that dark chapter in our history, but also insults the overwhelming majority of Americans, including minorities, who look at voter ID and see nothing more than common sense.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you Democrats, you should be kind of upset because when they oppose voter ID, even though 70% of you, for some odd reason, 30% don't, but 70% of you are in favor of voter ID, as I mentioned earlier. 76% of black people, 80% of Hispanics, whatever percent of white people, 90%, whatever, 87%. And your Democrat Party, nobody supports it. It should be telling you something. And the two things it should be telling you is, A, they just expect your vote no matter what they do. So they don't need to adjust their ideology whatsoever. They can go for guano crazy crap like transgenderizing children and porn in school libraries and an open southern border and free everything for illegals and all of this. Even though you disagree with it, they just know you're gonna vote for them. But that isn't enough to win, you see. So what they have to do is they have to fill out the rest of it with illegal aliens. So that's what this is all about. That's why your Democrat Party is telling you, despite the fact you want voter ID, that they don't support voter ID. It should be obvious. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it that way. This is John Cornyn. He is running for Senate again, by the way, against Ken Paxton in Texas. And Paxton has said, here's the deal. Get the SAVE Act passed, and I will drop out of the race. And all of a sudden, I guess John Cornyn had a come to Jesus moment, or a come to Jesus, whatever you want to call it here in Texas, and he's saying, yeah, now.
You previously said that nuking the filibuster would be taking a wrecking ball to Senate rules. Is that no longer true?
I said I'd be open to reforms.
What would you say to those who say you just changed your mind to win the president's endorsement?
I'd say that's not true.
You also said that if leadership...
I think we're through. Go ahead.
I think we're done. Yeah, I think we're done. Me being called out for my hypocrisy. He now realizes he's in a whole lot of hot water, to be quite honest. He is in a whole lot of hot agua right now because the American people, particularly Republicans, are saying, we need the voter ID. We need the SAVE Act. And you're going to lose your seat unless you get it done there, John Boy. This is Jim Gossett as the president.
Listen up to me, John Thune. You must pass the SAVE Act soon. It's time to end it and not defend it. The filibuster.
Got to do that too, yeah. It's been done before.
SAVE Act, we need to pass it. Becoming law is a must. It deals with every facet of Democrats we don't trust.
No, we don't.
Don't drag your feet anymore. Get it off the Senate floor. You can't amend it. You must suspend it.
You better.
The filibuster.
There you go, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, when the election was happening, I said that 80% of us believed the country was going in the wrong direction, and 80% of us can come together to save it. Remember that? Remember when I said that? That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. 83% of us believe that you ought to show voter ID so you can prove you're a citizen to enjoy the privilege of voting only if you're a citizen. 80% of us are coming together on that, which will save the country. Right? And the 20% are the people who are in Washington, D.C., who go to Washington, D.C. to spend their entire lives telling us how to live ours, and they have enriched themselves beyond our wildest dreams while you and I feast on the crumbs. Again, 80-20. Democrats, you need to hold your leadership accountable. This is Glenn Beck with his thoughts on why the Republicans don't want to do the filibuster, by the way.
You know why they're really not passing this? This is the God's honest truth. This is why they're not passing it. I think some of them know that, where their bread is buttered, and they need to keep this loosey-goosey. So, maybe they benefit from a few votes that come their way. I think that's a possibility.
There's a lot of that.
But I really think the reason why they won't send is because it's too much work.
Really?
I honestly believe it is because they are too damn lazy. Because here's what the standing filibuster requires.
Yes.
It requires that they keep the session going, which means you have
Remember when, what's his name, Cory Booker did that idiotic filibuster last year, talked for 24 hours about nothing?
Have a quorum. You have to have enough Republicans and Democrats in the Senate, the well of the Senate, 24 hours a day while this is going on. If you don't, then it ends the legislative day.
Okay.
And so then you're screwed. You have to keep the filibuster going and never end the legislative day, even if it goes for 60 days. You have to be there. People have to be manning that place 24/7. That means the senators are not going to go home. They're not going to have weekends. They're not going to be able to fly back to their constituents and their families and their fundraisers and everything else.
See, I think it's more than this. I think that it's people in Washington, D.C., who have been in Washington, D.C. forever, who want to continue the gravy train, and they are just waiting to take down Donald Trump, to be quite honest, to neuter Donald Trump's agenda, and then resume things back to normal the last 2 years of his term, and then possibly put somebody else in charge who is more amenable to all the filth and corruption in 2028. That's what I think. It's a lot of it, actually. I think that's a lot of it. And again, 80-20, people. 80-20, and this includes you Democrats. It's time for us to come together to save the country. 80% of us also have a real problem, by the way, with the Iranian terror attack. We have a real problem with radical Islam in the country. You Democrats, many of you have the same problem as well. We got to come together to save the country. By the way, the price of gold is kicking butt. It has been a record-setting last couple of years for the price of gold, going from $2,600 to $5,600 an ounce in January. Today, and like I said, this week, it's kind of remarkable, actually, because crude has gone up and down and up and down and up and down and all of that. But gold is at $5,130, so it's been right about $5,100 all week. But it's on its way back. And they're saying that 5,600 is not out of the question, certainly before the end of the year. So now's maybe the time for you to consider investing some money in Birch Gold. It's a company that I trust. You know that I trust them. And you also know how to get information about investing in gold. All you got to do is text my name, Rob, to 989898. That's it. They're going to give you useful information, no obligation whatsoever, not going to cost you a dime. And when you decide to pull the trigger on gold, then they are going to make sure it's a very easy wealth transfer. They call it a wealth transfer. In my case, not so much wealth. It was just, what I had saved in a little 401k from selling cars, and I transferred it to Birch Gold. And by the way, since I transferred that money, when I got in for gold at about, I think it was about $4,500, and now it's at $51. So I've made $600 per ounce. I won't tell you how many ounces. It wasn't a whole lot, but I am on the way back, and I'm going to sit on it for a while. So if you're considering adding gold to your investment portfolio or transferring a balance tax-free 401k or IRA in gold, text Rob to 989898, will ya? For Birch Gold, the company that I trust. On the way, Michael Charbon from Canada, the host of the Charbon Report, to talk about a number of things, including how this gas price going up affects the Alberta leaving the state, the country of Canada. Don't go anywhere. Every day for 20 years, I devoted myself to making sure my wife and kids were well-dressed and ready to face the world. Meanwhile, Dad over here wore T-shirts and jeans. Now I've discovered Quince. Quince has everyday essentials I love with quality that lasts, like linen bottoms and shorts, Pima cotton, European jersey linen. You're not just paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing, and I look good. Their clothing is rated between 4.5 and 5 stars by thousands of people wearing it every day. Linen shorts are a go-to. They don't wrinkle when they're not cheap. The clothes I wear look expensive but aren't. When I go out in the evening, and I do now, I'm actually turning heads. It's nice to feel good and look good. Quince does that for me at a price I can afford. Right now, go to quince.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last and don't look good. Go to QUINCE.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Newsmax. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
Local experts keeping your home comfortable year-round.
right, here we go. Give me a 3 count, okay? I have his music good.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, beauty, go.
Come on.
Take off to the great white north. Take off. It's a beauty way to go. Take off to the great white north.
That, of course, is the theme song for Michael Charbon, our Canadian correspondent, our brother from Canada, host of the Charbon Report, where, by the way, it's 2 weeks from spring here and 3 months from spring in Canada. How are you, Michael Charbon, on this glorious Thursday?
I was going to wear shorts today, Rob, for the show. Now you ruined it.
Yeah, so you're still drilling through the ice to fish up there. Give me a break.
Yeah. We've got there's a big ice field that broke away in an area of northern Ontario, and they had to send helicopters to pick up like 10 fishermen.
Oh,
they
my
were
gosh.
floating on ice like polar bears. That's welcome to Canada.
You know, it's interesting. I lived in Minnesota, which is obviously pretty close to Canada weather, and I venture to say it's about as cold as Canada because there's no mountains and stuff to prevent the cold weather from the Arctic to come down there. But that said, very weird. It's very weird to have a winter that lasts as long as it does. And when it's interesting because you got ice on the lakes, right? And then all of a sudden you'll see a little water in the exterior of the lake, and then all of a sudden the next day you'll go out, the ice will be gone. And you're like, what the hell happened? It sinks, and it's still down there. You just don't know about it. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks to actually melt. That's one of the weird things about living in a cold climate like that. I wanted to share that, Michael. I wanted to share that because I experienced it.
We're a hardy bunch, Rob.
I swear. And you know what else? When your dog goes outside in your yard and leaves a number 2, if you hit that with your snowblower, you can blow a window out of your house. It gets that hard. It's not good. It is not good. Those are the observations I had living in
What an interesting kernel of information.
Kernel. Yes.
Yeah, I meant that with the kernel.
Yes,
exactly.
of course. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the world. Obviously, the Iranian conflict is having an impact on oil prices. You see that the world has decided to release 400 million barrels of gas, or oil, which I mean you can't even comprehend how much that is. 1 million is it, but 400 million barrels of oil. So that's going to help things a little bit. And then, of course, the Iran is threatening the Straits of Hormuz. Gas is already expensive in Canada. How is Canada responding to all of this uncertainty?
Well, it's a double-edged sword for us, Rob. See, with oil going, the strategic oil reserves being released, that's to try and mitigate increased oil prices.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a two-edged sword for Canada. You see, Alberta has a $9.4 billion deficit, meaning that they got to sell oil to be able to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And it works out to be, well, unfortunately, they're heavily leveraged. To break even for Canada, we got to sell oil at about $55 a barrel just to make money.
Yeah.
So when oil goes down, it affects the people in Alberta. And the unique little twist to that is Alberta's looking at having a referendum because they're thinking of, suggesting to the country that they want to separate. So when oil starts to be sold, it makes the public a little happier, Rob.
Yeah. When it's at $90 a barrel, doesn't that kind of give Alberta a little more bargaining power with the rest of the country? Because they realize that without Alberta, and if Alberta decided to secede and say screw you to your government, don't you suppose that would be, maybe they're going to kind of kiss up a little bit to Alberta, make things a little bit more, the relationship a little better?
So this is a slight Groundhog Day for Canada because we had the same thing when Quebec wanted to separate. The problem is we need each other as much as Canada needs the United States and the United States needs Canada. We all sit there and jump up and down and claim independence and self-sufficiency, but we are all interrelated. The banking system, the trading system, the economic engine, the advertising agencies, the corporations are mainly located in Toronto.
Yeah.
The oil trade in the oil fields is located in Alberta and West. Yeah. We need each other. Yeah. The problem was that the Liberal government put so many tariffs and things on the oil that was making it more expensive.
Yeah.
If Alberta can make good money in the next little while. We hope they can be able to reduce the deficit. But in my heart of hearts, I don't think Albertans want to separate from Canada. They just want a bit of a better deal with Ottawa, and the threat of separation makes that movement a little more critical. So Carney's going to have to make a little bit of a concession.
Now, we've seen a more conservative movement happening around the world. We've seen Poland, and we've seen Italy, and now a lot of things are happening in Venezuela, certainly moving away from Maduro. Cuba, massive protests happening in Cuba right now. Wouldn't it be remarkable if Cuba was free? You've seen countries like Argentina and whatnot move right. It looks like Brazil could move right after stealing an election and imprisoning the conservative candidate like they wanted to do in America with Donald Trump. How about Canada? Are they moving? We've been talking forever about Polyev. What's going on with your politics?
Well, every election, it seems that the Conservatives are getting very close, and then Canada runs and tucks its tail and votes the Liberals in. We've got Conservatives now who are crossing the floor to go to the Liberal Party and slowly creeping the numbers up, where Carney is currently the Liberal government Prime Minister of Canada, has a minority government.
No.
Because of some of these politicians crossing the floor, particularly the NDP, who has no control, they may, if 3 or 4 other politicians cross the floor, give Carney, the Liberals, a majority. He's still in a minority. That means he could still be voted out and cause an election in the spring. But it's a mess. It's a really stale gas station salad when you're hungry and you just don't want to buy it.
Yeah. By the way, Doug Ford, I saw him. He'd been getting a little play. About a week ago, he was talking about how he was looking forward to Donald Trump losing both houses of the jury. Here he is talking about sleeper cells.
Any indication from police that these shootings at the synagogues and this shooting at the consulate are...
Any information on that? But again, this is just me speaking. I believe there's sleeper cells all over the world, as we know. They're in the U.S., they're in Canada here, and we have to weed these people out and hold them accountable.
So how is Canada reacting to the possibility of sleeper cells being activated by the new Ayatollah?
Well, first of all, the Canadian Security Intelligence Agency, which is called CSIS, has tightened the border. Now we have exactly the same thing that America has: fingerprints, visual ID. We have technology and information sharing with the United States, with the FBI, with the CIA. There is a North American bond to understand that we have to look at these things and look at them very seriously. Also, the Five Eyes is also sharing. The Five Eyes including New Zealand and Australia,
Gotcha.
UK, and of course the United States. So we've been very fortunate to date. We haven't had many of these. It can occur anytime, anywhere. No one is one is out of reach. I think that the situation that we have now is the technology is looking more at people who do that, and I'm hoping that it's going to be successful. Yeah. It would be terrible. I think there's many Canadians. I have to say this: there's many Canadians that feel that Donald Trump and your government has done the world a service in getting rid of the Ayatollah, in neutralizing Maduro. And I think all the naysayers and everybody who has the Donald Trump syndrome is saying, oh, he's going to take over Cuba. Well, Cuba was always a problem. And John F. Kennedy, way back in the 60s, identified that.
Listen, Michael, we got to take a break. Michael, we got to take a break. We'll continue the conversation on the other side of the break. More with Michael Charbon, live from Canada, coming up on the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
HarfordLifeGroup.com.
It is a Rob Carson show on a Thursday from Canada. The host of the Charbon Report, also frequently on Newsmax as well, Michael Charbon. The relationship, the cozy relationship that Carney had going with China, there had to be a wrench thrown into that because China has been seriously gotten a kick in the cojones from Donald Trump going after Maduro, Donald Trump going after Iran. They're having ghost fleets of oil headed out of Iran that the U.S. is stopping, and gas lines in China. You got to kind of wonder if your premier wonders if he made a pretty bad mistake by bedding down with China instead of the United States.
Well, I tend to agree with you, Rob, and I think there's a lot of other people that agree as well. The problem is that if he cozies up to China, it starts to put into question security alerts, intelligence sharing. I mean, even capital flow of banking with regards to fraud and money laundering. I mean, there's transactional money flow that goes back and forth, and now we're talking about security first. You have to question China. This is the same organization where, if you recall, Meng Wanzhou, who was the Huawei CFO, who was charged by the United States for fraud, I believe it was, and also giving aid and technology to Iran, was held in Canada for 3 years with an ankle bracelet. So we had lots of suspicion. We also had problems with China where during the 2019 and 2021 elections, that some of our liberal politicians were potentially accused of having influence from China. Now, all this comes together, and this is a bad state of affairs.
Yeah.
If you invite bad people to dinner, you're going to have bad manners at the table. So I agree. It is not good. And particularly when Donald Trump now is trying to put China in a box, once you start cozying with the enemy, you will soon be considered the enemy.
Yeah, well, it was not a good idea. It was not a good idea. It was not a good look. It was a very serious lack of judgment, by the way, by Carney. Just a real, a real faceplant. Same goes with Great Britain. Right now, the whole world is beginning to recognize that what Donald Trump is doing in Iran was the right thing to do at the right times, considering that Iran has been at war with the entire world for 47 years, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, NATO's behind it. Now, all of a sudden, Starmer's allowing us to use their air bases and whatnot. And this is the same case with what's happening with Carney in Canada. One other thing, got to talk about tariffs, and whatnot. You had mentioned that there's some sort of a poll, I'm assuming, by some Canada positive organization, the CDN Angus Reid Institute. 51% of Americans think there should be no tariffs in trade with Canada. Okay, so tell me about this.
Well, no, I mean, come on, Rob. You and I mean, you love to land that like a potato after having McDonald's. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We are so integrated, buddy. We
I
are
know.
integrated, both family, industry, etc. I think where the thing happened was that Donald Trump had to make an assertive action for everybody and realign injustices in the world. I believe that Canada was kind of brought into that just because of the unfortunate circumstance that so many others have been taking advantage.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people on your side of the border who are suffering because the trade is not there, the tourism is not there.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, one would think that Americans would be traveling to Canada. It's $1.36 Canadian to buy $1 US.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you guys were to come up here, you would see things over 30%, 40% cheaper than in the States. But the reality is we are affecting both people on both sides. You talk to some of the travel people on the other side of the Canadian border, they're feeling the crunch, Rob.
Yeah. I want to mention one other thing. I admit the last time we talked, there have been some white Karens who moved to Canada. They found out it is incredibly expensive to rent or own a home there. Has any of this come down? Is inflation still nuts as far as home ownership, groceries and whatnot? Is it still as bad as I've seen?
Yes, they estimate that it costs the average Canadian an increase of $1,900 per year now.
Wow.
Just because of all the inflation. We had a terrible problem where we let too many people in, had not enough houses. And
we did the same thing.
I know. But well, you guys have done a really good job of weeding it out. You're still in the process of doing that. We stopped foreign students and then knackered our college and university system because they survived on foreign student high rates. So they're laying people off. So
well, listen, I appreciate you being on the show today, Michael Charbon, the host of the Charbon Report. Always entertaining, always good to touch base with you, my Canadian brother. Where can people find all your glorious work, sir?
Rob Carson, thank you so much. It's michaelacharbon.com. I'm on the John Glasgow Show every Sunday on Newsmax, and I'm also on Spotify. But thanks, Rob. As always, you're a good man.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All righty. Hi, kids. It's been a hell of a day on this end. I hope it's going better on yours. Hope you're enjoying the show as well, kids. I hope you're enjoying the show as well. Anyway, who we got watching here? Well, we've got Gary Madden. Hello, Gare. Gare Bear. What's going on? And Dookie Bear, what's going on? Valentina, Wild Bill West, as always. It's good to see you as a major player. Seeing you all the time these days on the community chat, and I hope you guys are also getting something out of being able to enjoy the fellowship that you have during this time we have every single day. I hope you're liking what you're seeing, and I hope you're enjoying the program, and I hope that we're doing without any issues today, because sometimes we've had some streaming issues, but we're getting ready to maybe, I don't know, find another studio. Or another server, one of those things, because it's not fun to watch me freezing up every once in a while. My brain does that anyway. It doesn't need any help doing that. So I'm looking over here. Mary Shirley, hello. I'm looking at Peter Wilson. What is up? And all you guys, H.R. Roy, new names. Robert, Roberta Varello, I guess, 7991. Look at all the chat today on YouTube. It's, my God, you people are going crazy over there. Seeing new names and everything. Nathan 1. What up? Good to see you. Look at all the new names. It's awesome. I love it. All right, I got to talk right now, so I'll be right back with you guys. But thank you. Thank you for joining me. It's crazy day. Crazy day. Crazy day. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Oh, looking forward to the weekend. I'll tell you that. I used to not look forward to weekends. I've been really looking forward to weekends lately. All right, here we go.
Second, Harvard Harris poll. So again, not, this isn't like something that Newsbusters Commission or RAV Commission. This is Harvard. Asked folks various components of the SAVE Act. 81% support voter ID.
What?
74% support proof of citizenship to
that is crazy.
Register to vote. 54% believe in taking measures to root out voter fraud, and 61% believe in sharing voter rolls with DHS to confirm that all non-citizens have been removed from the voter rolls.
See, there you go. It is remarkable, and like I said, and I don't know. I'm usually right on this stuff. I don't know how it happens. I think it's common sense, life experience, show prep, all of these things coming together at this time in history that have it made me kind of see these things a little bit more clearly. But 80-20, 80% of us believe the country was heading in the wrong direction. 80% of us came together to save the country. Now we need to do the same thing with voter ID and making sure that our vote is secure. And here's another thing for you Democrats, and I've been talking to Democrats this hour, because 90% of you don't believe that boys can become girls and compete in girl sports. 95% of you, whatever, don't want porn in school libraries. Don't want all this radical LGBTQIA plus being taught to kindergartners. You know that, but 100% of your Democrats in Washington, D.C. do. 100% of them do. So you're going to have to start saying, enough is enough. I would be angry if I was voting Republican. Like if the Republican Party were voting completely against, all the members of the Republican Party completely against what I believe in, I would be raising hell. And the amazing thing that'll happen, if you demand that of your party, then your party's going to have to start listening to you. Then your party's going to have to come to you, find out what you want, put that in their platform so you can vote for them. Because right now they're not giving that to you. They're not giving it to you at all, and I think that is a real shame. And I honestly think that this is something that's going to bring us together. I think it's going to bring us together. There are a lot of things that are dividing us. Trust me on this. I know this. I've lost family members, etc. I know that a lot of you hate Donald Trump, but at the same time, you love America, and many of you are very proud. I'll bet Democrats were, a lot of Democrats were just as proud as us winning the hockey gold as Republicans were. I'll bet you as many of you stand during the national anthem and are proud of it. I'll bet you as many, not merely as many, but as many of you are concerned about radical Islam in America and terror in America. We're angry that the southern border was open. We're not in favor of that. We're not in favor of illegals getting all sorts of free crap. When you see things, and I got some stuff coming up at the show, some unbelievable fraud in states across the country. You have no idea how bad we are being held down, and the Democrat Party and corrupt agencies have been taking advantage of us to the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars. I mean, in California, the hospice care, a number of things. There's even like bus transportation for special needs kids in New Jersey costing $105,000 per kid. It's happening all over the country, and I think that because of these times where all of this is being exposed, we can come together. We can come together. And to hell with the bat guano crazy nutbags who want the country to burn, don't stand during the national anthem, don't care about radical Islam, and don't want voter ID. Hey, you see what I mean here? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually bringing people together. It's crazy. All right, so coming up, steak and lobster for troops. Democrats have a problem with it. Yeah, people putting their lives on the line for our country for a piece of steak. Yeah, coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed. Pretty darn good show. And Michael Charbon was on the show earlier. That was always good. If you want to check out the podcast, we do it every single day. The audio podcast, we stream the show, but we do put up the audio podcast every single day on your usual podcast platforms. So just go to those, look up Rob Carson Show. You'll be taken care of there. And then, of course, on all Newsmax social media where we stream the show, it stays up there in perpetuity. So you can see the live stream of the radio program recorded on all Newsmax social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Rumble. Rumble's very important. So we do all of that so we can cover all of the platforms. And, of course, analog radio. We love you guys listening to all of the great affiliate stations around the country. WGMD, lovely Rehoboth, WCBM in Balmer, KSCO Santa Cruz, KBQ in Albuquerque, and we're on in North Dakota and the Benny Media stations in New Hampshire. We love you guys, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate the management of those glorious stations for putting us on. And I'll tell you, when we are on analog radio, we kick butt. We kick butt on everything, actually. We kick butt on all the platforms because we do something that is different than everybody else is doing, and that is we entertain, we inform, and maybe even motivate. Maybe even motivate you to do a little good. You know, there's that. And I use comedy. How about that? Oh, new comedy coming up from Jim Gossett. He's got a couple of new songs today. One of about the Iranian Navy. We'll get to that. I came up with this idea yesterday. I'll explain it. Because we've sunk like almost their entire Navy. And then we went after the ships they were going to mine the Strait of Hormuz with. They blew the crap out of them. So we're going to get to that very shortly. Also a new Thune song today, a little John Thune song coming up. It's kind of interesting. Representative Jasmine Crockett, who is not going to be a representative after this year and will not be a senator as well. And unfortunately, Jerry Springer is dead, so she can't go back to being a Jerry Springer panelist. You know, who's the daddy or whatever that is, you know, whatever kind of crazy nonsense they do there. So she can't go back to that. But she actually admitted that she got fewer votes. Democrats got fewer votes in Texas. Are you ready? What happened? What happened in Texas that caused Democrats to get fewer votes? ID.
There was a benefit to shining a light on what it was that they were trying to do in the dark in Texas. So unfortunately, we've seen our numbers fall now that they have these voter restrictions in place. But I do think it's important for us to...
Wait. Hold on a second. Now, Democrats say that if you require voter ID, that women and blacks cannot get a voter ID. Women and blacks cannot get a voter ID. It doesn't say Democrat women. It doesn't say Republican women. It says that women and blacks cannot get a voter ID. Why would, if that's the case, the Republicans not get fewer votes too? Huh? Oh, you see, because the only people who can't vote when you require voter ID are non-citizens. What else do you need? What the heck else do you need? It is remarkable. If you just think a little bit, just think a little tiny itty bitty bit about things, and there you go. That's all you need to know. The Democrat Party absolutely depends on illegals voting. Again, as I told you, they expect Democrats to vote Democrat, but they can't beat Republicans if you believe that boys can become girls and compete in sports. So what do they need? They need illegals to put them over the top. They just expect you Democrats to vote for them. That's the way they are. Let's do a little update on what is going on with Operation Epic Fury. Yesterday, Donald Trump was out in Kentucky. He was in Hebron, Kentucky. I used to live in Fort Thomas, Kentucky. I love me some Kentucky. Oh my God, what a great state with a terrible governor, a complete moron. He's an insult to the great state of Kentucky. But here's Donald Trump talking about how he came up with the name Epic Fury.
Epic Fury! Is that a great name?
Yeah.
Well, it's only good if you win. You can only
I know.
And we've won. They gave me a list of names that sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name.
Yeah, you'd expect maybe it's like Trump epic fury he'd be more in favor of, but he decided on that. Pretty darn cool. General Petraeus was talking about the Straits of Hormuz and what's going on with oil prices. The Democrats are suddenly concerned about oil prices, even though the green energy nonsense that they tried on us caused oil prices to go through the ceiling. Do you remember that when Joe Biden was president and all of a sudden oil was $5-6, even in like Kansas and Illinois? Well, Illinois is high anyway, or Wyoming. It's like $5 or $6 because when Joe Biden was the president, because of all the green energy nonsense and all of the spending and all the stupidity of that and everything, and Democrats didn't give a damn about it. But all of a sudden, because gas price goes up 50 cents, because we're saving the free world, because we're liberating the entire world from the Ayatollah and the terrorist regime that has waged war against humanity for 47 years, and you're all mad and butthurt because the price of gas went up 50 cents when it went up $4 or $5 or $3 or $4 when Joe Biden was the president? Yeah, I know, it's kind of stupid, right? Here is General Petraeus talking about the Straits of Hormuz.
There still is a threat. 4 ships were attacked today. One of those, along the way, of the 14 that have been hit so far, was hit by an unmanned surface vessel. There's the threat of short-range missiles. You can lay mines with other than mine layers. You can actually use fast boats and so forth. It depends on the type of the mine. There are some mines, reportedly less than 10, that have actually gone in the water. If we end up in a situation where they mine the strait, that will be very challenging as well. So I think the president's got a lot to calculate here, and including in that is, of course, the effect of the price of Brent crude. And actually, I just checked it. It was back up to about $92 a barrel. And if the markets really are hanging on his every word.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, Donald Trump was asked yesterday about this oil reserve. The world's superpowers came together, and they're releasing 400 million barrels. This is actually unprecedented, that the countries of the world who have these reserves are willing to do so to keep the price down.
Something that's on everybody's mind, gas prices. Last few weeks, folks have been seeing them go up. Are you looking at a threshold for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? Saw the announcement from the IEA.
Remember when Joe Biden emptied the strategic oil reserve because all of his policies caused the price of gas to go through the ceiling, and he had to bring it down a little bit so Democrats wouldn't lose so badly in the elections and all that? Remember when he used it for political purposes?
Earlier today.
Well, we'll do that, and then we'll fill it up. I filled it up once, and I'll fill it up again.
There you
but
go.
Right now, we'll reduce it a little bit, and that brings the prices down. We have to get rid of the evil. There's great evil.
Yeah, kind of got to get rid of that evil, and only evil people mine oil transports in the Straits of Hormuz to make people suffer. See, that's evil.
Taking place in Iran, as you know, and our military has been unbelievable. We are knocking the hell out of them.
Oh, yeah, we are big time.
We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force, all of their anti-aircraft weaponry, their radar. Frankly, we knocked out their leaders twice. They have a new leader every 3 weeks, every 3 days. So
did you see the cardboard cutout of the Ayatollah? The new Ayatollah? They had a cardboard cutout of him because he's either injured or dead, one or the other. Who knows? But he apparently made a statement today, but didn't do it on camera.
I think we're doing really an amazing job, and we're being given credit all over the world. Somebody had to do it. 47 years of horror, 47 years of killing and maiming people. Millions of people killed.
Yeah, and the rest of the world is coming around. The only people who aren't behind it are Democrats. The only people who really aren't behind it are Democrats. Unbelievable. Here's John Fetterman, the only sane Democrat in Washington, D.C. I mean this. He's the only sane Democrat in Washington, D.C. He's the only pro-troop Democrat in Washington, D.C. Pretty much the only patriotic Democrat in Washington, D.C. who would cheer on the success of our troops rather than hating their success because they hate Donald Trump. Here is John Fetterman talking about Operation Epic Fury.
I mean, if you just look at the metrics, that the missile and the drone attacks are down in the 90s per percent. And Iran really has been in the ability.
We're absolutely annihilating Iran. Iran is 100 million people. They had a very, very powerful air force. It's been obliterated. One of the most powerful air forces in the world, a powerful army, a powerful, secret police, all of this. And we've waylaid them. We've had about 100 injuries. We've had 9 fatalities in a war where we are taking down a real powerhouse country run by evil people with 100 million people. That's no small task.
To just strike back and hit our assets or Israel much right now. So after eliminating all of the leadership, after 7 or 8 days, and achieving air supremacy after a couple days, I think overall, I think it's been an outstanding where we're at.
Have you heard any Democrat say that? You've not heard one single Democrat, while our soldiers are in harm's way, say anything positive about what they're doing. What a change it has been since Desert Storm. What a change it was since after 9/11. That your party, the Democrat Party, won't get behind our troops. And many of those troops happen to be the sons and daughters of Democrats. Remarkable. More from John Fetterman. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to save it for the other side of the break because he has some thoughts about Democrats used to think that Iran was a major threat. But because Donald Trump is the president, not so much. That's on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Marketing text messages consent are required to purchase. Messenger data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours.
Do you have John from Delaware?
Played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215-215. That's RULE to 215-215.
Now, here's the Mangione Minute.
The Baltimore County Council passed legislation tying their pensions to future salaries, which in some cases would nearly double their pensions. The legislation was done without regard for Baltimore County taxpayers. All 3 Democrats currently running for county executive supported this outrageous money grab until the citizens of Baltimore County found out. Now the council's in full retreat, not because they thought the pension raise was wrong, but because they got caught. Baltimore County taxpayers already pay too much in taxes, yet the money grab continues. To make it even worse, the county executive was talking about potential tax increases. The pension increase was a terrible idea. The proposed doubling of council member salaries is a terrible idea. It is time taxpayers came first. If the current Baltimore County Council wants to do the right thing, they should immediately repeal the pension increase and freeze council member salaries at current levels.
Listen for the Mangione Minute every week on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
You've planned for everything, your retirement, investments, and even your next vacation. But a plan for long-term care? Not so much. Let's face it, no one wants...
We have John from Delaware.
Okay, but ignoring it...
I'm sorry, what?
We have John from Delaware on the phone.
Oh, okay.
He just called.
And maintain the lifestyle you love while securing the care you may need later. Visit our website, wesleysecurecare.org, or give us a call, 410-324-2400 to learn more.
Hey, it's Sean Casey. Listen up. If you're shopping for home appliances, you've got to check out Town Appliance on Reisterstown Road, Owings Mills. We're talking Whirlpool, Genair, KitchenAid, Maytag, more than 70 top brands under one roof. The showroom's stunning. I walked in and my jaw dropped. And when you meet with Mayor or Mayor, you'll see they're super knowledgeable.
And I don't know what your network is talked about, but what I'm saying that you know, whether like it's the New York Times they're making.
Go see the showroom in person. Town Appliance, your headquarters for home appliance.
If you're taking a closer look at your financial future, now is the time to talk with someone you trust. Own a business and want to understand your valuation or start planning an exit strategy? Then you want a fresh set of eyes on your investment portfolio. That's where Tim Herb, financial advisor at RBC Wealth Management, comes in. Tim explains things clearly, helps you build a plan, giving you confidence and moving forward. Connect with Tim Herb, RBC Wealth Management. Take the next step toward a more secure financial future.
RBC Wealth Management.
Just listen for me talking about the letter from the New York Times or whatever the hell it was.
Hey, you guys, listen up.
Hi, it's Sean Casey. Last year sold out fast. If you missed it, here's your chance. The second annual WCBM Pints and Politics, Thursday, April 23rd from 5 to 7 p.m. at Michael's Cafe and Timonium. I'll be hosting a live, unscripted conversation with a special guest. No,
I haven't been invited.
Just a straight conversation. That's really happening
they
right
haven't
now.
invited me to
Sponsored by the
CBM
Smile
events.
Tickets are just $25
I think
and include light
I
hors
think,
and your WCBM pint glass. Seating is limited. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at WCBM.com, and I will see you there.
I would love to go. That might be I don't want to hijack anything.
And I don't know what your network talked about, but what I'm saying that whether like it's the New York Times, they're making it more and more, trying to convince America that this has been a disaster or things are out of control, and that's just categorically not true.
100%. There go John Fetterman once again telling the truth. Here he is talking about how Democrats used to consider Iran a major threat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much aware that I'm the only Democrat in the Senate that supports this operation, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I would remind all of your viewers, whether it was Hillary Clinton when she was running for president or Kamala Harris when she was running just in 24. In fact, she actually identified Iran as her top concern.
Yeah.
She called Iran a grave danger. And now every single Democrat agrees that they can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. And now Donald Trump has done that, made that virtually impossible to achieve their nuclear weapons, and they've effectively broke the entire Iranian military apparatus. Yeah. I don't know why we as Democrats, if we had all those kinds of goals and those kinds of concerns, and now that he's achieved that, why now we only can criticize that, or they could always make it seem like it's been a failure or things are out of control. That's just categorically not true. 100%. I'm not sure why they can't just acknowledge that that's been a positive outcome.
Because he gets positives. You're looking at 10 years of 97% negative press coverage. You're looking at a Democrat Party who's done everything to put him in jail, to take away his fortune, to impeach him twice, to take him off the ballot, and to ultimately try to murder him a couple times. So this is why. They would rather have women live in Iran in bondage for another generation than the freedom happening on Donald Trump's watch. They will caterwaul about Cuban freedom. And by the way, in Cuba, you want to hear what it sounded like in Cuba right now? We haven't heard things like this in Cuba in a long time. Freedom. Down with communism. Freedom. Freedom. This is Cuba. Come on. The more people get free, the more the Democrats see their doom. That's really what's happening here. That's why they can't say anything positive about Donald Trump, about anything he's doing, even if it means people remain in peril and bondage. This is Claudia Teding talking to John Solomon about what I've been saying since Donald Trump was inaugurated, which is the Democrats are only contrarian to Trump.
We'll do anything and everything to stop Donald Trump. We just can see today the Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome. They will do anything. They'll support illegal immigrants, criminal illegal immigrants. They'll support anyone, even over the American people. Just as long as it's a Trump initiative or a Trump policy, it doesn't matter how good it is. It doesn't matter how common sense it is. It doesn't matter that the American people support it because Donald Trump might be advancing that issue. They're against it, and it just shows the Democrats are so desperate. They will do anything and everything, including undermining our very powerful intelligence agencies and trying to surveil President Trump, anyone affiliated with, anyone who supports him.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, this is just
they're mentally ill. It is Trump derangement syndrome. It is really a mental illness. But you know what? I have a cure for that, and that is called comedy. I mentioned earlier that we have a new piece of comedy from Jim Gossett about the Iranian Navy, which is now at the bottom of, the ocean. Enjoy.
Under the sea, it isn't better down where it's wetter, take it from me. Our Navy has gone down to defeat. They've taken down most of our fleet. Nowhere to hide, our ships reside under the sea. One by one our ships are sinking, U.S. forces have won the day. It's enough to make me start drinking as the torpedo heads my way. Our Navy faces complete destruction, soon we'll have no ships in the sea. Hormuz has become one big graveyard, drunken declare sweet victory. Egad. Under the sea, under the sea, how we abhor the ocean floor. It's not for me. No. Iran has fought this war in vain. Here comes a U.S. Air Force plane. If you're on our ship, you'll take a trip under the sea.
There you go. That is brand new from Jim Gossett. The musical, I believe, the cartoon is called the Little Mermullah. It's very popular right now with the younger set, the Little Mermullah under the sea. Let's talk to John in Delaware, one of my favorite states, actually. It's Iowa meets the ocean. John, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. What's up?
Hey, Rob. I love the show, brother.
Thank you, sir. What's up?
Got bad news for you, though.
What?
Nobody's calling anymore because the lines are always busy.
Oh, really? Well, we'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
We'll have to work on that.
That's kind of like the yogiism where he says nobody goes there anymore because it's too crowded.
Yes. So what's on your mind today, bro?
I'd like to make a correction.
What?
You keep referring to the opposition party as the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Well, those folks are long gone.
Yeah.
The new party is the demonic rat party.
Yeah.
One word, you can use a capital R there.
Yeah.
And they were all hatched in Area 51.
Is that what? Well, that explains Rose DeLauro. That certainly explains Rose DeLauro and probably Chuck Schumer. 100%. Yeah. The Democrat Party. But think about this. My father was what you would call a Roosevelt Democrat. He was old enough to be my grandfather. He died 32 years ago at age 72 years old, World War II veteran. He would have, this is not his party. This is not John Kennedy's party. And the thing is, all the people aren't this way. It's just the leaders of the party who are this bat-guano crazy. So, and as I mentioned earlier, you may recall this, John, I've been saying forever that the Democrat Party needs to reinvent itself or disappear into the dustbin of history. And the leadership of the party is making it disappear into the dustbin of history. What do you think?
Well, here's one thing I know for sure.
What?
They constantly compare Trump to Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, Pol Pot. But the crazy thing is that if he ran against them, they'd vote for them.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you've got people who are writing glowing reviews of the Ayatollah. You've got media who are soft-pedaling to Islamic terrorists attempting to blow people up in New York City. So, there's that. Listen, John, I appreciate you, man. Hope to make it up to Delaware very soon. I understand I'm going to be up there for WGMD sometime in April, and I cannot wait to get back. I cannot wait for the farmers market, the little stands. They got these little stands. You got to go to Delaware. You got to go up to Rehoboth, stop by Joe Biden's, place there, do a ding-dong dash. Trust me, he doesn't get to the door. It takes him about an hour and a half to get to the door. So just ding-dong dash. You'll never get caught. But you should come to Delaware. It's a pretty cool place. It's Iowa meets the ocean, and all sorts of these little farmers market stands on the way to the beach, and it's really pretty cool. All right, so we got a lot more coming up on the Rob Carson Show, including this whole steak and lobster scandal. Pete Hegseth buying steak and lobster for our troops in harm's way. It's been going on forever. Democrats just found out about it, and they want to make it like it's a really big deal for people who would sign up for service and risk their life to save us. I know, kind of stupid. That's all coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed. Every day for 20 years, I devoted myself to making sure my wife and kids were well-dressed and ready to face the world. Meanwhile, Dad over here wore T-shirts and jeans. Now I've discovered Quince. Quince has everyday essentials I love with quality that lasts, like linen bottoms and shorts, Pima cotton, European jersey linen. You're not just paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing, and I look good. Their clothing is rated between 4.5 and 5 stars by thousands of people wearing it every day. Linen shorts are a go-to. They don't wrinkle when they're not cheap. The clothes I wear look expensive but aren't. When I go out in the evening, and I do now, I'm actually turning heads. It's nice to feel good and look good. Quince does that for me at a price I can afford. Right now, go to quince.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last and don't look good. Go to QUINCE.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Newsmax. It is a Rob Carson show. One of my favorite guests for all things UK, and I might also add just about anything because she's very worldly, very knowledgeable, an exceptional speaker, I might add. Hilary Fordwich, keynote speaker, Newsmax contributor, GBN contributor, Sky News contributor. I don't think there's probably another page of resume here we could get to, but let's not do that because I'd rather hear her talk about the issues. Hilary Fordwich, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, Robin. That smashing introduction. Lovely of you. Thank you.
I'm glad you're great. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to get to on the radio program. Let's talk a little bit about King Charles III, by the way, supposedly going to visit here to the States in April. How has that happened, or how is that happening? How have things changed? Has the Iran conflict affected that at all?
Well, in fact, in terms of the royals, let me take one step back. I remember a very dear American friend once saying to me when I was I'm sort of fascinated by Americans are so fascinated with the royal family, not all, but a lot of Americans. And he said to me, Hilary, we get all the pomp and circumstance and we don't have to pay for it, which I thought was right. but in terms of, that's me being light and funny, although I do think it's true. And if you look at how many Americans watched Princess Diana's funeral, over 29 million Americans were interested in that. And then, of course, the royal weddings and other weddings, etc. And now to your question. It matters, first of all, I'm going to talk about why it matters and then the status. The matter is that in England, the Great Britain and the UK, the king, the monarch, is the head of state. Mm-hmm. Now, in America, of course, our president is the head of state. But it matters because this is representation coming on behalf of the British people to come and visit the United States on our brilliant, which I'm looking forward to, 250th anniversary.
Oh, yes.
So why does it matter to Americans whether the king comes or not? Well, one of the greatest allies the U.S. has ever had across the world, since obviously 1812 after that, has been the UK. We have stood together. Our men and women have stood together. First World War, Second World War, Afghanistan, Iraq, you name it. We have stood together. SAS Special Forces, of which my uncle was in, have fought next to our Marines, and it's been so tight, and we can always count on each other until now, where Sir Keir Starmer, the current British Prime Minister, the Labour Prime Minister, has been absolutely ghastly in terms of not supporting us with regard to the invasion of Iran. So this is a very, very serious situation. Now, in terms of that royal visit, what is the exact situation? Well, it would be beyond catastrophic if the king did not come. Basically, you'd be setting a nuclear detonation to the special relationship.
Yes.
But what I would say is that, on the other hand, he is receiving governmental pressure and pressure from, and this is horrible for me to have to admit, but I have to say it, the Muslim vote in the UK is very, very strong, and that's what Keir Starmer, of course.
Hilary, your phone is sounding terrible. What? Something happened to your phone?
Okay, can you hear me now? Shall I take off my headphones?
I think you've got me on a speaker. It doesn't sound good right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and take me off speaker or whatever you got there. Are you
there? Is that good? Is that better?
That is better. Get closer to the receiver so we can hear your glorious voice. Go ahead and continue your thought.
Yeah, I am so sorry. Sorry. So that was headphones for you.
Yeah.
So what the situation is now is because of the Muslim vote in the UK, Sir Keir Starmer did not back us, the US, when we went into Iran. And now the king is receiving a lot of pressure to cancel this trip. My feedback to you and my answer on the status is nothing has been announced. They never even confirmed the trip in the first place. I think it's in jeopardy, and everybody should be keeping our eyes on this because as a U.S. citizen and taxpaying citizen, we depend on the UK and we need them to stay strong as our ally, 1, for their forces, 2, for their bases, and 3, for global peace and prosperity.
Well, I think
so it really
here's what I think, and there's a major division in Great Britain, like there is here, between the left and the right, and the people who are patriotic citizens of the UK who are Churchillian, all right, and I think that it would be a very powerful signal for the king to come visit Donald Trump as a giant. I'm getting feedback on the phone here.
I'm so sorry. It's stupid earpods. I'm really sorry. I don't know whether to put them in or put them out.
I'd put them out if you have a phone. Just put the phone to.
I have put them out. They just keep trying to click in, so I've hidden them behind something now. Hopefully they won't click in. I apologize to our listeners.
It's okay. You might flush them down the toilet if it takes. Anyway, but I think it would be a giant middle finger to Keir Starmer and the global elites and the radical Islamists if the king came here. And I think it would embolden the patriotic populace in Great Britain.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. And I think this is going to be, for everybody to keep their eyes on. It's very important. Why? This is a bellwether as to whether we can stand together and the influence of the Muslim vote. We know in our nation, let us not just look across the Atlantic and think, oh, this is just happening in England. Look at what's happened in New York City with Mayor Mamdani. And we're supposed to be a nation with a separation between church and state. Just today, I believe it was, or yesterday, conducting this prayer service, this Muslim prayer service. We have to be very careful about the line
100%.
in the U.S.
100%. I also want to mention, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Epstein files and Prince Andrew and all of this and how it could affect the monarchy. Where is that? It's been kind of knocked off the front page. Is there still a crisis, the kind of crisis we were talking about, bringing down Starmer and whatnot?
Well, yes, absolutely. And one thing, Rob, I hate to correct you, but let's never refer to him ever again as Prince Andrew.
Gotcha.
Yes. No, that's one of the things. It's a victory.
Yes.
He's now Andrew, so we have to all celebrate that and remember that. But with regard to Andrew, and you're right, because the audience probably remembers him as former prince, but Andrew Windsor Mountbatten, he has been knocked off the front pages by what's happening in Iran, and I was actually thinking he's one of the few people who's probably almost leaping up and down when we did go into Iran, thinking that he would be off the front pages. But with regard to that, actually, what he was actually arrested on, of course, was misconduct in office, not on anything to do with the Epstein files. But what I understand from many sources is there are more revolting revelations coming from those files, Rob. Wow. I think we're going to see a lot more people, including Andrew and the royal family, under increasing pressure. And now just to link these two stories together.
All right, Hilary, we're going to take a break because the phone is doing weird stuff again. I'm going to have Michelle talk to you off air, see if we can get this figured out, because I have some other questions I want to ask you with regard to Great Britain, including some major changes in the currency of Great Britain, which are going to have people kind of ticked off. I have a funny feeling they're going to be a little ticked off. I do want to mention something real quick. 70% of people on Social Security don't get what they deserve. You spend your whole life paying for Social Security. It's bad enough that they were taxing you. Donald Trump took the tax off Social Security. That was kind of nice, right? Because you've been paying it into it your entire dang life. Well, there's a way you can boost your overall lifetime Social Security benefits by $188,000. Did you know this? Why not learn about this? There's this Social Security expert named Michael Allen, says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. I'm going to give you this number, which should write this down. So if you're considering, I'm not going to be on Social Security about another 10 years myself, but if I were about to be on it or on it already, we all know how hard it is to get along just making that pittance they give you. Get the most out of it. Write this number down, okay? And then call this number, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. They will get in touch with you about this guide, and you could make a whole lot more on your lifetime Social Security because you paid into it, and dang it, you deserve it. And you get screwed every month by the government, and you get taken to the cleaners by the government, and all of this, and it's time that you got what you deserve. 800-999-9690. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Yeah, make sure her All right, it's the Rob Carson Show. We're going to try this again. Hilary Fordwich joining us on the Newsmax hotline. Are you there?
Yes, absolutely. Crystal clear. Here.
All right, very good, very good. Real quick, I want to talk about oil prices. Everybody's concerned about oil prices. Gas is bloody expensive in Great Britain. How is the UK handling the fluctuations in the world oil market because of the Iranian situation?
Well, of course, obviously, the Labour government, the government in power that is not supportive of President Trump, not supportive of the US or what we've just done. Of course, they're blaming everything to do with inflation and everything to do with the dire straits of the country. And, of course, the mantra from the Conservative Party, which is like Republicans in America, is Britain is broken. But Labour is using this as the excuse. Oh, well, it's due to what's happening in Iran.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's been their disaster's been going on a long time, but this is what they're blaming it on.
Well, this is the same thing that Gavin Newsom is trying to do: blame the state's high gas prices for his awful green energy nonsense on the Iran situation, and everybody knows that's a joke. One other thing, I wanted to bring this up to you. And I think I would be hard-pressed to find something you haven't heard of with regard to the news, because you are as plugged in as I am and spend as much time or more preparing yourself. But Britain has decided to remove Churchill from its banknotes.
Oh, yeah, with wildlife.
And replace with wildlife. I mean, honestly, dear God in heaven. So Winston Churchill, Charles Darwin has been on your currency. Charles Dickens has been on your currency. All of these people. Jane Austen has been on your currency, for God's sake. And now they want to get rid of Winston Churchill in favor of animals like beavers and birds. Your thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm sure you know my thoughts on this, and I bet your audience can guess my thoughts on this. And also compounded by there was graffiti all over Winston Churchill's statue, which is very hard to access in London, and the police did nothing about it. Meanwhile, in the UK, people are being arrested for flying the flag of St. George, which, if most people know, I'm sure the flag of the Union Jack, where you've got the red stripe in the middle, that's the flag of England, because it was viewed as, in quotes, are you ready, inciting hatred.
Oh, dear God.
You can't fly the flag of St. George, the English flag, and they're going to change the banknotes from Winston Churchill, but you can actually denigrate and desecrate the statue of Churchill. The world has turned topsy-turvy.
Well, honey, I called you honey by accident. I apologize. Please don't hurt me. But you know, when you look at what it's the same thing has happened here. They were calling the American flag a sign of whatever, and hanging up rainbow flags everywhere. They were spray painting Churchill statues, or not Churchill statues, but statues of Christopher Columbus. All of our heroes, all of the heroes of the Revolutionary War that built this country. The same damn thing, Hillary. And now they're replacing the currency. How are people responding to taking Churchill off the currency? This is unbelievable.
No, people are absolutely upset that they're doing the same thing they normally do, unfortunately. And I would actually extend this to the U.S. You know, civil people do respond civilly. They just complain and mumble and grumble, but they don't go around burning things and committing arson, and they're not. And so the only person that's really standing up to this, of course, is Nigel Farage, whom I might mention was at Mar-a-Lago with President Trump recently, and I have high hopes that hopefully there'll be some kind of alliance. But all of this comes down to one thing. It comes down to mathematics, which is we eventually will be outnumbered by those, and I looked at a global map of where the birth rate is higher than 1.1. In the U.S., we have too low of a birth rate. So does all of Western Europe.
I know.
But Africa and these other Middle Eastern countries, they have high birth rates, and they are eventually going to outnumber.
Well, I feel that if you get a conservative prime minister, I think Great Britain can be saved. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up on Great Britain. We've seen what's happened with Italy and Poland, and those countries have been able to at least stem this nonsense. And I'm hoping that Farage can get into office, because if he does, it will be such a powerful alliance. It'll be the most powerful alliance we've seen since Reagan and Thatcher, Trump.
Unfortunately, though, it won't be soon enough, because President Trump probably won't be in office there. But last point, Rob, who also are the great saviors, and that is Prince William and Princess Catherine are so popular, and I think they're very good for the monarchy. And President Trump thinks the world of them, and hopefully they will come over for a visit, and that will help strengthen our alliance. All
right. Well, I greatly appreciate you being on the show today, Hilary. Hilary Fordwich, and by the way, I might mention you're on Twitter at Hilary Fordwich. Where else can people find you?
Yes, YouTube, and I'm always on LinkedIn, and I'm always glad to deliver any keynotes anybody would like, any keynote speeches. Thank you very much for having me, Rob.
You bet.
Thank you.
Yep, take care. I want to share a story with you that is apropos of nothing, because it is remarkable. The hockey victory of our Olympic hockey teams was a major deal. The Democrat Party, of course, tried to whiz on it. They tried to act like Donald Trump didn't want the women's hockey team to come and visit, all of this stuff. And it is remarkable because some of the most amazing sports stories, inspirational sports stories we've ever heard come from hockey. You know, some of the most compelling short reels about success and triumph over adversity come in the sporting world and from hockey. And while that story of the men's and women's teams both beating Canada to win the gold in a 250th anniversary of her birth, I have a story of a high school hockey victory that may just bring you to tears. It did to me this morning. I was watching this, crying my eyes out. And when you hear it, because it involves a recent tragedy, I mean very recent tragedy, you may become emotional as well. I'm going to share that on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson from Birch Gold. Think about that. Hi guys. You guys have been so active today. My gosh. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the show. I've had some balls to juggle here, but I think we're having a darn good show. You guys certainly are having some great conversations over here on the Rumbly Roo, Dookie Bear, and Sportech, and all you guys, and Wild Bill West, and Lake Life Girl. Which lake are we talking about there on X? Which one are you talking about there? Which lake are we talking about there? Anyway, all of you guys, we appreciate you watching. Looks like my live stream is offline on YouTube, and we're going to get all this stuff figured out sooner or later. But anyway, I got this story I want to share with you next. I think you're going to find very compelling and very amazing. And I think you're going to be blown away by it. There you guys are on YouTubeage. Willard Clark, America Marcy, Frank O'Donnell, good to see you. You're new here, brother. Rita in Tennessee, good to see you back. I believe you were here earlier this week. All of the usual players are there as well. Deplorable Dinosaur and America Marcy and Mickey Hastings. You guys are my go-tos. You guys are my, you're the wind beneath my wings, as it were. You're the wind beneath my wings, and I need the wind right now. Trust me on this. I need the wind. The wind has been kind of blowing against me in the last few weeks. And anyway, Tony Schaefer coming up next, by the way. Tony Schaefer coming up next. See how long this is.
We're a family.
A family that's leaned on each other to get through.
Truly love each other as a family, as brothers.
He and his Blackstone Valley teammates wear the initials of Collins Month.
The biggest thing for us that
they're on their jerseys.
All right, so I was commenting to this story. You remember a couple weeks ago when a nutbag transgender person, Robert Dorgan, walked into a hockey game, a high school hockey team, murdered a woman named Rhonda, a son named Aiden, and a grandfather named Gerald? Well, the survivor, the son, Colin Dorgan, whose mother was murdered, his brother, this is going to make me lose it again. His brother, Aiden, and his grandfather were all killed, and yesterday he scored the game-winning goal to send his team to the championship.
Those same players were on the ice when the shooting happened last month.
The biggest thing for us that after the tragedy that took place was to keep them together as a family. I was with him every single day and his sister, and we as a group as well got together every single day for 14 days straight. And I believe it made a difference. The bonding that this team went through over the last 2 weeks has been nothing less than superior.
Holland scored 2 goals in their previous game to bring them here to the Final Four, a tense game against Portsmouth that after 3 periods was tied. There was the first overtime, then the second, and then the moment.
It was overtime. I got caught on offense a little bit there, and my good buddy Cam just fed me a puck, and I just hear the crowd. But just to put it 5-hole, greatest moment of my life.
The game winner, sending them to the championship.
I literally cried like a baby. The floodgates opened tonight with me. When I saw him open, I knew he was golden. Once he had that breakaway, how much better can that be right there?
Are you kidding me? Yeah!
Collins' goal brought everyone in the arena to their feet.
The emotions are just running high for everybody. Couldn't have ended any better than it just did. Yeah, man, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. There you go. I'm losing it right now. Colin Dorgan, his mother, Rhonda, his brother, Aiden, and his grandfather murdered by his insane transgendered father 3 weeks ago. And this kid kept it together, and he came back. Can you even imagine the strength that it took? Have you ever lost a mother, a brother, and your grandfather, and then were able to triumph in this fashion 3 weeks later? Unbelievable story. Miracles happen. Great things happen. And I had to share that with you today. It is absolutely beautiful. As beautiful as that Olympic hockey victory by both of our teams, maybe even better. Let's take a break and come back. One more hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. I wouldn't go anywhere if I were you.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
Hey, guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
Now, you are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 3. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to save the steak and lobster story until then, okay? Because Democrats were freaking out because the Secretary of War was spending money on steak and lobster for our troops. And apparently the Democrat Party is perfectly fine with them stuffing their gullets full of steak and lobster all the time. But by God, you certainly don't want to spend that kind of money to give to people who would give their full measure of their life for the country. I mean, honestly, you people are so bankrupt intellectually and morally. It is ultimately ridiculous. It is ultimately ridiculous. The Democrat Party, here's the Democrat Party, by the way. I'm going to call this the Democrat Doom Parade. Never before have we seen this when the United States was in a military conflict where people were being freed around the world, where we removed a dictator who the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, had raised the bounty from $5 million to $15 million on Maduro. But because it happened happened on Donald Trump's watch, it was suddenly bad, and they would have rather had him back in charge again. Same goes. It took us minutes to vaporize the Ayatollah Khamenei after 47 years of war on the United States, and the Democrat Party felt the need to wish that he was still in power and that the people were still in bondage and that women would have to wear hijabs and be treated as animals, as livestock for another generation. That's your Democrat Party. They're so mentally ill. But here's the Democrat doom parade on our successful campaign against Iran.
It seems to me that the Venezuela military operation was the gateway drug for Donald Trump ordering this operation in Iran. I think that gave him the false expectations that this would somehow be simple. This is a terrible mistake, and the sooner we end this, the better.
Democrats want an end to war we're winning? Why?
Yeah.
Before the first bomb dropped, the verdict was already in. Trump's guilty.
Yeah. Donald Trump is like the guy who runs into a crowded theater and yells fire. He created this huge panic in the region, a huge conflict, but instead of putting the fire out, he's now closing the doors to the theater.
The Ayatollah killed 35,000 people because they protested. You people are ill.
And he's allowing the thing to burn, because even if he exits right now and he ends it quickly, the chaos is still going to be enormous. Even if it continues, it's going to burn to the ground.
Wow. Just came from a 2-hour closed-door classified briefing on the war. It just confirmed to me it's totally incoherent. We are not going to be able to achieve any of our stated objectives. This is a disaster of epic proportions.
We can bet pretty safely that Iran has a higher pain threshold than Donald Trump.
That's your Democrat Party. I mean, my God. How many of you listening right now are either in the military or have a son and daughter in the military? How's that make you feel? That's your Democrat Party. Oh, my God in heaven. Here is Victor Davis Hansen talking about the end of this conflict, which is coming soon.
I think the Energy Secretary is right. There's 3 possible outcomes in our view, and they're all better than the pre-war one. The first is that we did so much damage to the military and discredit it. There's a popular revolt. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but it could. The second is the Venezuela situation, where somebody emerges that we're not really in favor of, but they're going to put a lid on the theocracy and work with the West. And the third is you're just going to do so much damage to the command and control and the military infrastructure that you just let them stew in their own juice. Wow. And then you say to the Iranian people, these people did this to you, and we're here to help sometime, but go to it. And whatever happens will be better than having them close to a nuclear weapon and with all the assets they had. So we're in a good position.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, here's why I know that the Democrats are going to eat their words on this. Because they've been wrong about everything. They've been wrong about everything. Jimmy Kimmel, this is not comedy, by the way. This is Jimmy Kimmel just being a jerk. He got a 1-year contract because ABC couldn't take the heat of firing like they're doing, CBS is doing with Colbert because of the miserable ratings. But here is Jimmy Kimmel for, trying to say that Donald Trump, even though 5 people now, including Ghislaine Maxwell, have come forward and said Donald Trump had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Here is Jimmy Kimmel, and again, if you do comedy, you've got to have truth in it. If you do satire, you have to have truth in it. If there's no truth in it, then it's nonsense. It's propaganda. That's what he leans into. But he says that Donald Trump is using the conflict to distract from Epstein.
Trump claims we are way ahead of schedule on the war. He's got a schedule, which means it should be over just around the time we see his taxes and the rest of the Trump-Epstein files. Ironically, this war he launched to distract us from those could turn out to be more damaging to him than the Trump-Epstein files themselves.
So Trump 86, the Ayatollah, to distract from Epstein? The weekend after the Clintons testified?
Sure.
You mean the Epstein story that about a half dozen Democrats have been forced to resign over? Are we talking about the same thing?
Jesse Waters, of course, with some brilliant commentary on that. The ridiculous of it. We have phone calls here. Let's get to them real quick. In another caller from Delaware today, Joe in Delaware, one of my favorite places, even though Joe Biden is from there. Joe, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. What's up?
Hold on, that was Nick. I'm sorry. Joe dropped.
Joe dropped. I apologize. Well, let's go to Nick in Chicago. Nick in Chicago. I want to mention something real quick here, Nick, because I'm quite excited to see I'm a Midwesterner. And did you realize that a Giordano's is coming to Washington, D.C. sometime this spring? I almost wet myself when I found that out. How are you doing otherwise? Are you there?
I guess he dropped too.
Well. That was like an American missile. No, that was like an Iranian missile. That's what that was. Just right into the ground. Boom. Had it all set up and everything. Was going to talk to the guy in Chicago about Giordano's coming here. And look what happened. He drops off before I could even do that. That is just crazy how that happens. My gosh. That is just crazy. That's the kind of day I'm having. That's okay though. Let's play some Trump here, because I got something on the other side of the break. No, actually I want to do this now. I got some on the other side of the break. I'll reserve some of the fraud stories for the other side of the break. But massive fraud is being uncovered across the country. The reason why, in case you didn't know, remember last year around this time, the Democrats were burning Tesla dealerships, attacking Teslas in town parades. If you were driving a Tesla Cybertruck, they were vandalizing Teslas because Elon Musk of Doge was looking at all the corruption and everything. Do you remember that last year? Remember when Elon Musk was suddenly a Nazi for no good reason, and all these people came out who looked exactly like the same people in the No Kings rally, who looked the same as the Hands Off Iran rally, the same bought and for people. Remember that? The reason being is because of all the fraud, all of the massive, massive, massive fraud. You may recall a few years ago, I said that we are going to discover that the United States government is as corrupt as the former Soviet Union, but with a $7 trillion budget. You remember that? Remember when I said that? You can go look at the podcast. Just go back a couple of years. There's thousands of episodes back there. But you will recall I've been saying that. And I was right. And I was right, and I was right, and I was right. And in California, there is tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars going for people who are supposedly in hospice, who are not in hospice. And it's run by foreign governments, the Russian mafia, among others. And just about 2 months ago, Gavin Newsom decided he was going to file a lawsuit against Dr. Oz for uncovering all this and charge racism. Now, the reason being is the same thing happened in Minnesota when we decided to go after all of the Somalians, the 89% of Somalians who are on welfare, and the thousands of Somalians who've defrauded our government, faking that their kids had autism, opening daycare centers where no kids were in the daycare, or feeding our future, $250 million for meals for starving kids who never were fed. Okay, and then when it was mentioned that Somalians did it, of course, Tim Volz immediately said it was racism, right? Same goes in California. Here is the story about Gavin Newsom about a month and a half ago, and now the truth is coming out.
Governor Gavin Newsom's office is filing a civil rights complaint against Dr. Oz, who is currently serving as administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. The governor is seeking an investigation into Oz's, quote, baseless and racist allegations against Armenian Americans in California.
Not at all.
His complaint is in response to this video that Dr. Oz posted on his social media this week. In the video, the former TV host claimed without proof that the businesses controlled by Armenians in Van Nuys are fronts for healthcare fraud schemes.
Yeah, generally when your hospice care is in the same strip mall as a payday loan place and a liquor store, not a good place to go for end-of-life care.
The governor reacted to the comments during a discussion in San Francisco.
He went down attacking the Armenian community just a few days ago. A business is down now 30%. Poor guy.
Yeah, business way down for Somalians in Minneapolis, where they did so much fraud.
Small businessman running a bakery because he decided
a bakery and a hospice center.
Do a little TikTok video or something, saying they're somehow connected to the mob.
Yeah, well, we got the truth coming on the other side of the break, and you better be ready for it because California is Minnesota times 10. We'll have details on that coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Texting calls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good
this season?
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215-215. That's RULE to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, this is Sean Casey. Tim Kyle Electric is now Tim Kyle Electric Heating and Cooling. For years, they've been a trusted name in the electrical industry, serving residential and commercial clients with excellence and dedication. Now they're proud to bring their wealth of experience and exceptional.
It was.
It's snowing like crazy here.
That's crazy.
Fall weather. It's important to ensure your home is equipped with reliable heating.
You know, I checked up on those callers several times to make sure they were home.
That's
right.
I apologize.
That's right. It's not your
ensuring
problem.
comfort and peace of mind for you and your family. The weather is changing, and now
It's just aggravating.
call Electric Heating and Cooling today. 410-876-9404. Remember, they also do outdoor lighting, plus service and sell all generators. For all your electrical and HVAC solutions, call 410-876-9404, 410-876-9404, or TimKyleCompany.com. Tim Kyle Electric Heating and Cooling, winner of Carroll's Best Electrician and HVAC Repair Company.
This is Gil Kuda, Senior Vice President with Aegis Capital. On the Money is back on the air every Sunday afternoon at 5. We will discuss investment and financial topics.
For people reaching the end of their life.
Listen in every Sunday afternoon at 5 for On the Money with Gil Kuda.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The Sean Hennity Show.
Hunter lied on a gun application form. Wesley Snipes, convicted 3 counts of tax evasion in 2008 for bilking Uncle Sam on taxes up to $15 million. IRS said he owed taxes. He was later sentenced to 3 years in prison. Remember the guy Jersey Shore star Mike? Yeah. Anyway, 8-month sentence for skirting $2.3 million in taxes. Not Hunter.
Sean Hannity, weekdays 3 to 6 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Notice how much entertainment costs have risen lately? Satellite radio is $10 to $25 a month. Netflix costs $7 to $23 a month. The movies are $9 to $15 a month. WCBM Radio and the WCBM Radio app are free. Download it today from your app store.
All right, coming about in the hour, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer to talk about lobster and steak for our troops. The Democrats can't stand it. They love it when their illegal aliens get free hotel rooms for $500 a night in New York and free health care and all of that, but not our soldiers. My God in heaven, no sirree, no sirree. Look at this. My God, I got another email today, and this is a great offer here. First Premier Home Warranty. Well, they're giving me $200 off and a month free. And look, they even got a policy number in here for me and everything. The only problem is it's bull crap. Yeah, it's bull crap. It's in the spam folder. I get all sorts of offers. I get people telling me that, my credit card is no longer, I need to update my payment, or I've got some sort of, my auto warranties, this and that and all that. I get so bloody tired of it. I leave it on at home because I want to be able to share these stories with you. Because AI has completely changed the cybersecurity game. Scams are smarter, malware faster, phishing emails look amazingly real. If you're not careful, you or somebody you love is going to get scammed. Maybe it's going to be your mom. Maybe it's going to be your dad. Maybe it's going to be your kid. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be in a world of hurt. You're going to have your identity stolen. You're going to have a bunch of charges you can't afford. WebRoot Total Protection is going to help you out. And the thing is, it's cloud-based, so it stays out of your way. Takes up 33 times less space than bulky competitors, scans 6 times faster. So instead of waiting around with lag time, you're getting instant, powerful protection without the lag. It exists in the cloud, and it's great. Real-time protection against malware, phishing, ransomware, viruses, and other threats. 60% off if you go to this website now. Webroot.com/Carson or webroot.com/Newsmax. Either one of those, get 60% off. I've got it here. I check it every morning to see if they scanned and if there are any threats. And it's boom. It's like that. I've never seen anything like it. I get all sorts of. I even get from the other virus protection places saying, "Oh yeah, your payment is." Even those people telling me my payment is not updated, and I didn't even buy the damn thing. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed. Every day for 20 years, I devoted myself to making sure my wife and kids were well-dressed and ready to face the world. Meanwhile, Dad over here wore T-shirts and jeans. Now I've discovered Quince. Quince has everyday essentials I love with quality that lasts, like linen bottoms and shorts, Pima cotton, European jersey linen. You're not just paying for brand markup or fancy retail stores, just quality clothing, and I look good. Their clothing is rated between 4.5 and 5 stars by thousands of people wearing it every day. Linen shorts are a go-to. They don't wrinkle when they're not cheap. The clothes I wear look expensive but aren't. When I go out in the evening, and I do now, I'm actually turning heads. It's nice to feel good and look good. Quince does that for me at a price I can afford. Right now, go to quince.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last and don't look good. Go to QUINCE.com/Newsmax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Newsmax.
He has spent $15 million in 1 month for ribeye steaks, $6.9 million for lobster tail, $225 million for furniture. He spent more in the month of September than most countries on earth spend in their defense.
Paul, do you believe
all
do you
for
believe,
himself? Lobster tails?
Do you believe
while our troops are eating MREs?
No. Do you
lobster
believe,
tails?
Do you believe the Secretary of Defense is personally eating all the lobster?
Well, he
It's
can't
for
eat
the
16.
Troops.
Oh, really? The troops are getting lobster
frequently in
theater.
My God. Troops who are going to war.
Oh my God!
Great meal. You know that.
They're
You
getting
know
lobster.
That.
You are so
I'm gonna
full
get
of it.
killed over this.
You are
You're
so
That is
full
Paul
over this. Internet, do
Begala
something.
looking like a complete ass. I mean, unbelievable. One of the dumbest moments. He thought he had a gotcha moment because Pete Hegseth was spending money on lobster and ribeyes, not knowing that this happens all the time, particularly when you are you spend weeks out on patrol eating MREs and you're on foreign soil and the military comes in and gives you a little back for giving so much. I thought my head was going to explode when this happened. Of all the things yesterday, of all of the B-word and whining that the Democrats have done, so even the first day, right after, I mean, seconds into it, we killed the Ayatollah. The people of Iran began dancing, and Democrats started saying it was a disaster. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it. It's easy to get distracted. I will just say, stay positive. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer, I got to tell you, brother, I've had enough of these Democrats and their nonsense. Welcome to the show. Your thoughts on the latest salvo by Democrats against Hegseth and Donald Trump?
Hey, Rob, always good to join you. And yeah, it's insane. So let me say something out of personal experience, which I think always helps enlighten the audience. My last deployment to Afghanistan was in early 2004. And on the C-17, right at my feet, was a pallet, like a huge pallet of Alaskan king crab.
Yes, sir.
That was purchased by the Department of Defense back then, now it's Department of War, and was going to be served that Friday night at Bagram at the mess, at the, for all the soldiers, Bagram Air Base. So, and then I've heard from Vietnam-era soldiers that they also had things like surf and turf served to them in Vietnam. So this whole thing by Paul Begala, I mean, talk about an ass's ass.
Yes.
I mean, this guy is nuts because all he had to do is ask anybody, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, anybody who served in the theater of operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, or other areas that we're in would know that every Friday night they always try to make sure that the deployed troops get something special, surf and turf, Alaskan key, any number of things, filet mignon. So for this guy to say this is completely insane. I mean, and come on, look at anybody who looks at Pete Hegseth. Do you really believe he personally ate 750,000 orders of lobster? I mean, come on.
Well, the Atlantic, all of these a-holes who hate the military anyway. By the way, they hate the military. Yeah. They only concern themselves when troops die, and they don't even care about that. By the way. They just want to be able to use it. I had a guy on earlier this week named Tariq, and he said that Democrats' casualties are ammunition. Casualties are ammunition. And I got to tell you, I have a nephew. He doesn't talk to me anymore. He has PTSD, and he would go and spend weeks out on patrol in Afghanistan, using a bush to go to the bathroom, eating MREs, and he would come back in, I want you to listen, for those returning after a 7 to 15-month-long deployment, that surf and turf was the first taste of real food many of these men had felt after months in grueling days, sleeping on the ground, dealing with the elements, and often eating MRAs. I mean, of all the things you could say about our military, this has to be the lowest, and I am just done with them. I'm done with them, Tony, particularly when you consider how successful we are right now.
I don't understand how Begala and these other folks didn't even bother to check. It's like, first off, like I said, it's like it's a joke to think that Pete Hegseth didn't put on a ton of weight eating all this food. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, come on, just think for yourself. Just use something that the Democrats rarely have as common sense. Like, does it look like he's doing this? And then just actually do some basic research. I mean, this to me makes your point that they hate the troops so much they'll try to do something that benefits the troops to hurt Donald Trump and my friend Pete Hegseth politically. Think about that.
Yeah,
They're willing to do that.
It is remarkable. Also, troops actually pay for their food. I saw this piece. An E3 without dependents in military currently makes about $2,800 to $3,200, or roughly $700 to $800 a week, which is nothing. Their job entails grueling hours, often waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning for PT, among other things. They are on call 24/7. They have to pay for their own meals when in garrison. Troops receive what is called a basic allowance for subsistence, BAS. Is usually deducted automatically from your pay. For troops that aren't deployed and live on base while deployed, they are not charged for food. However, they do also receive the base pay. And then also, you might mention when you're out, dealing with the most grueling circumstances you could ever imagine. They do special nights. They do like taco night. They do like whatever night because you know what? It's the only thing to look forward to.
Yeah. So I've been in fire bases, remote parts of Afghanistan, and the senior NCOs and officers always try to make sure that something special is served, even on the front. Even on the front.
I know,
Rob. Even on the front. That means people. I've been at a fire base where we were getting mortared every night, and they were still cooking good food for us during the day. Just saying.
Brother, and doesn't it mean the world to you? Doesn't it mean the world to you? You know?
It does. It absolutely does. I mean, anything you can do to build morale in very difficult circumstance. Let me tell you something. And the audience may not understand this. When you're out there, to your point, I mean, even the folks who are not out on patrol constantly, you're in austere conditions. In the winter, you got to go out to either a trench or a porta-john that's about 20 degrees, about 20, 21 degrees, and you got to do your stuff. And then in the summer, the same thing. It's 110, 120 degrees. So whenever you're living in that level of depravity, you look forward to having any little comfort that you can find.
You would think.
So, to think that these Democrats are now trying to say, oh, my God, we can't believe the Department of War spending money on good quality food for our troops, and we're going to try to politicize that it speaks volumes of who they really are. God help us if they win the midterms.
I want to see the Democrats eat MREs for a week. They wouldn't last a damned day.
No.
They would not even know what to, these guys got to have puppy therapy whenever something, whatever happens at, in their office or whatever. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous. I want to move on to other things, Tony Schaefer. I want to hear your thoughts on the progress of Epic Fury. I know this is not going to impact the morale of our troops. The Democrat Party is not affecting the morale of our troops. Our troops are kicking ass and taking names. Most of those names, Muhammad. We'll get to that on the other side of the break. Let's take that break now. This is the Rob Carson Show.
in Harford County.
I think we're quite far along, actually. Obviously, we had enormous success, 40 liters in the first 40 seconds. As the president noted, and you have noted, we've largely taken down their air and ballistic missile defense. We can now fly really at will with our non-stealthy aircraft, not just the stealth B-2 and F-35, but the B-52, the B-1, other fighter bombers. We've had considerable success against their Navy, needless to say. We've taken down probably at least 70% of the missile launchers and a substantial amount of the stockpile. The missile strikes, as you also noted, way down. We're still going after the drones, and that's, I think, proven to be a bit more challenging, frankly. They have thousands of them in tunnels.
Yep.
We're parked on top of the launch sites, as you would imagine, going after them. But that a variety of other targets that we've taken out, of course, a lot of the regime forces, their headquarters, their subordinate leaders, large depots, bases.
And by the way, it's a little more challenging because we're not taking out their infrastructure. You know, we're leaving their power grid intact. We're leaving their energy production intact because we don't want to make this about punishing the people. But other than that, kicking butt. And Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaver, did you see the Moab being dropped yesterday? That was something else.
Yeah. Well, that was purposely done to make a point, and I think that's where we're going with some of this right now.
Dude, the Moab is the largest conventional explosive and it's the size of a small nuke.
Yeah, and that's why they needed the B-1 to do that. That's the only a bomber we have right now that can do that, and I think that's why they brought that in.
How much does that weigh, man? How much does that thing weigh?
Oh, I have no idea.
5,000 pounds? I know.
That's a Blaine Holt question.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yes. All right, go ahead, man.
So, no, I think we're now to the point of where we recognize that what they have left is hidden underground, to include leadership. Also, there's a strong potential that even though we've destroyed their Navy, they have shown us that they have tunnels full of these small, smaller than Corvette size, like pleasure craft ships. So I think we're looking for those right now to make sure they can't go out.
Yeah.
And the Straits of Hormuz thing, I think, is the only thing that's troubling because
yes.
Right now they're trying to tell people it's closed, and it's kind of like, well, if you go on the Marine Tracker, you can see ships are still going through. So the bottom line is, and by the way, my friend Sal Mercogliano, who's a professor here in North Carolina, does something called What's Up with Shipping, has shown that no, everything's good. The war insurance has been kind of settled. Everybody can go now sail through there.
Yeah.
But the Iranians are trying to tell people it's closed, and obviously that panic then is driving up oil prices, which they're trying to do. So people have to be rational, and I think one of the things we can do to help drive that rationality is showing that, hey, Straits of Hormuz is not closed. We got it open. People can go through, and oil should not be an issue. So.
The new Ayatollah apparently made some sort of statement, but didn't appear in public today. I guess which was maybe a step above the cardboard cutout. I mean, honestly, do you expect us to take you seriously when you say, oh, we're intact, when they use a cardboard cutout? And they didn't even bother to, dress the cutout. They just had an old refrigerator box, and they put his face on it. I mean, my God, really?
Well, I think that's part of what's going on right now. You have these dueling narratives, and the one thing I'll say about the Iranians is they are masters of asymmetric warfare, which includes information warfare, deception. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to dispute the fact that you had a ceremony with a guy's face on a cardboard box. I think the Democrats would have been better off doing that with Joe Biden, just saying. It would have been more believable.
It was livelier than Joe Biden in person.
But in any case, no, and the dueling narrative is, like I just said, oh, we're in control, we're setting the terms as the Iranians, or the reality is, no, we're kicking their butt, and there's nowhere for them to go. It's a matter of being precise and effective rather than being overwhelming and careless, because we don't want to destroy the infrastructure. We don't want to have to go back and rebuild things, and we don't want to get the Iranian people against us. That's one of the key elements and objectives of the current operations.
Now, we also were talking about the possibility of drone strikes on California. The obvious punchline is Gavin Newsom's already destroyed California. What are we worried about? But on a serious note, an unserious note, Gavin Newsom says they're prepared for it. Okay, like you were for the Palisades fire. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So first off, it's aspirational. This is from an FBI report saying, hey, they have this aspiration. The bottom line is that there's no evidence that they've been able to establish that level of complexity to get that sort of thing doing. Now, you'd have to put drones on a pleasure craft or some other platform to get them to act, to California.
Yeah, where are they going to come? I mean, but how are they going to get there? How are they going to get there, Tony? Exactly. Venezuela's not there anymore. Where are they going to get that?
Yeah.
You going to
exactly.
come across the Pacific?
Yeah, it's a bit of, I think, would the Iranians love to do that? Oh, yeah. Would they have the capability to do that? No. And I think this has been a bit overblown by everybody has been talking about.
So we're 2 weeks into a 4 to 6 week campaign. I would venture to say, when you consider we've knocked out 85% of their missile strikes, 80% of their drone strikes, that we're on schedule or even better. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping up primary combat operations by, I'd say, early next week at this point. I just don't think we're going to have a lot to be able to strike at this, since we've been making really good progress.
Real quick, what about Israel's role in this? Because it sounds like they're going to lean into the regime-changing thing, which I'm fine with. We got to get we got to usher in this. If they want Pahlavi, we got to get rid of the Ayatollah and let Pahlavi protect him. But what are your thoughts on that, real quick?
There's been a rough division of labor between us and them regarding North versus South targets in Iran, and obviously Tehran is in the north. So, yes, I think you're going to see the Iranians be struck more handily regarding the command and control and leadership by the Israelis than us. I think that's what's going to happen.
And you think they're carrying their weight, though? I mean, Israel's doing a great job too.
Well, I do. I absolutely do. I think now there's differences because at one point, Israelis struck a refinery. That was something we said, no, we don't want you doing that.
100%.
But other than that, no. And look, for those who say that President Trump is run by the Israelis, no.
Yeah, bullcrap.
He's right now doing what he has to with an ally to accomplish joint objectives. There's going to be a time when our objectives are their objectives, and he'll say so. But right now, everything is working.
All right, one other thing, 20 seconds. The girls' school, I say is bullcrap. It happened on day one. It hasn't happened since. It was targeted right in the center of the school. I believe it was the same damn thing they tried to do right after October the 7th with the hospital bombing. What do you think about that?
So, no matter how you cut it, this school was located right next to one of their major naval headquarters. Just accept that.
Yep.
So I don't know all the details. I know, as Pete Hicks just said, there's an investigation going on right now. I don't know, but at this point, it's like they do this all the time. As a matter of fact, there's pictures the other day, Rob, of the IRGC putting some of their mobile command and control trucks into a kindergarten.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what and it happened, Tony, it happened the first day, and it hasn't happened since, which says, to me, bullcrap. Liz and I appreciate you being on, Tony. T-Spooky on Twitter. Anywhere else?
That's it. No, just go with that.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys, it's Carson from Birch Gold. Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces of gold would be worth about $165,000. No, he's just become very Americans negative. Diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why you need to consider buying gold from my friends at Birch Gold. He's going For thousands of years, gold has been a store of wealth, and today it's a crucial part of any balanced strategy. I had to return an email or a text. Talking about a friend of mine going through some problems. Anyway, how you doing, kids? What are you guys talking about? You guys were talking about MREs a little while ago. Somebody said they'll stop you up real good, so we got some military members watching the stream. I do appreciate you. It is a damned shame that so many people have just taken this tack against our troops. Look at all you people talking over there on X today. My God. Rosaline, cry hard libtards. Cry hard libtards. You're new. Hi, guys. I'm going to tell you. Hi, guys. Glad you're here. There you go. I got a lot of people talking on X today, but not as many who's talking on my Rumbly Rose. My Rumbly Rose. Gary Madden. All you guys, you guys have been talking about the, Dookie Bear says, if you got an MRE, don't just chew the gum. Take it from me. Not sure. Eat the food, then the gum. Okay, I'll take your word for that. Take your word from that. There you go. It's ridiculous that only the Democrats who put homeless people or illegals up in hotels in New York City would bitch and complain that our troops are getting a little bit of surf and turf in the field of battle. And what would you have for your last meal? What would you have for your last meal? That's what it's inspired by. Here we go. Have you guys heard the new song, Cardboard Ayatollah? I'm going to play that in a second. A guy named Lyle Culpepper came up with it. Kind of reminds me, there was a song way back when called I Don't Care If Hell Freezes as Long as I Got My Plastic Jesus Sitting on the Dashboard of My Car. It used to be a big deal with you. Our Gen Xers, our parents used to have a little plastic Jesus on the car. I still have my mother's plastic Jesus in my apartment. Gold is at $5,097. So it's about $5,100. It's calling you. It's saying, come add me to your portfolio. That's what you have to do. Add me to your portfolio. How do you do that? Well, you contact Birch Gold by texting my name, Rob, to 989898, Rob to 989898. Gold went up. It was $500 ahead of this about a month and a half ago. Then it dropped because people sold. And then it came right back, and right now it's telling you, it's giving you an opening because they're saying 6,000 is going to happen very quickly, and who the heck knows? When you consider world events and whatnot, Birch Gold is my trusted advisor on purchasing gold. They have my money in gold. There you go. Text Rob to 989898. Here it is, Cardboard Ayatollah.
Sometimes we all need a hero. So true and holy, recycle only.
Cardboard.
Right now we all need a leader. You're gonna change the game, just stay out the rain. Cardboard Ayatollah, you are my king, I am your soldier. And I can be anything you want me to be. Cardboard Ayatollah, you could fit right in my folder. And we'll never stop until Iran's not free. 'Cause there's a cardboard Ayatollah deep in me.
That is just fantastic. I mean, that is just fantastic. Comedy makes the best point. This is why I do it. You disarm your opposition with it. And the left cannot fight back against mockery, ridicule, and satire. You handle the joy and patriotism. I'll handle that and let Donald Trump handle the butt kicking. That's going to do it for the show today. Check out the podcast on your usual podcast platforms. God bless you. America is founded. Donald Trump, as he makes America great. Our soldiers who are just doing a great job. I couldn't be prouder. And until tomorrow, which is Friday, by the grace of God, don't catch the stupid. I love you guys.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.